Right, it's going to be the last of these series of videos where I look back at old issues of Redline. This is going to be, well, the plan was to do it from 2009 until the very last issue, which was end of 2011. That's quite a long way to go in one episode, but to be honest, I've got less issues here I want to show you. Honestly, I don't think some of them are all that interesting, in all honesty. Even some of these I don't, but I'm going to show you to kind of show my point. Kind of coincidentally, the first one I want to show you, because I've not even really looked through these, turns out the first one I'm going to show you was the first one after Renton was no longer editor. And this, just inside the front cover, is kind of a sign of things to come, and not in a good way, in my opinion. You know, is this worthy of like a whole, you know, a whole page spread like this? I don't think so. It's a Audi A4 1.8T with 340 brake. In my opinion, it's not even worth a feature, never mind a fucking whole page in Redline. Like, you know, at the beginning, you know, showing off what's in Redline. A poster style picture. But yeah, I must admit, I wasn't massively happy with quite a few of these issues. This is that Audi A4, which personally I don't think deserves a feature. Big deal, it's a 340 brake Audi A4. One thing I did notice for a lot of these features that I don't think are worth it, they're ones that Millsy, Adam, what's his name, Adam Mills? Oh, I can't remember his bloody name now. Whatever Millsy's called. He was freelance and he sold the magazine loads of these features he's already done by the looks of it. I guess so. But they're just on really ordinary cars. I mean, like, big deal. It's a fucking lightly modified 180. So, yeah, it's alright. But even in 2009, I don't think that's worth a feature. It's like a goodbye to Renton. Renton's best bits. He'd been working on the mag since, wow, near enough a decade. So, yeah, fair play to him. But then he was gone. He was kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I think some people had it in for him and was trying to get rid of him. So he was kind of forced out. But in my opinion, it was a mistake. But whatever. Some bullshit cleaning advert that, you know, was kind of done in a Redline way. So using Rich's Pulsar. I use 3-in-1 to give you maximum protection. It's like bullshit. But, you know, paid the bills, I suppose. This car's mental. I don't really understand it. I didn't write the feature, so I know nothing about it. But 500 brake, 4-wheel drive, turbo and supercharged 180. Very cool engine bay. Seems to have like a G-Ladder supercharger down the front. But it says it's got 3 ECUs and it's got like a mega built engine and all this stuff. It doesn't explain why it's got 3 ECUs. It should be absolutely fine with 1. Yeah, it's a hell of a car. Just the feature kind of don't tell you very much. Just says it required 3 ECUs to control it. So why? I don't know. Doesn't really say why. It's weird. But again, it's a trouble with features. Unless you do it right, you don't gain much from it, do you? And that's the test me and Rich did with his Pulsar. We basically tested, do dump valves do anything, as in performance wise? Yeah, we know they're you know, they're there to reduce compressor surge, which can knacker up turbos. But a lot of people still believe they reduced, well, especially back now, because this was, you know, over a decade ago. People always believe still that they reduce lag between gear changes and all that. So we tested it. We tested it with no dump valve, with a recirculating one, and one to Atmo. One to Atmo was always going to lose on this one because the car's got an airflow meter, and anything with an airflow meter usually shits itself with Atmo ones. But how we tested it was we timed it 20 to 80 miles an hour, so a good run through the gears. We timed that with the Race Logic timer gear, but we also timed gear changes. Not just the actual time it took for the gear change, but using Race Logic you can see exactly when the acceleration starts again. We checked how long the time was between the start of the gear change, which you can see on the data login as no more acceleration, and when it got 10 miles an hour more, as in it's noticeably accelerated. And we did that for every gear change. And yeah, the results were basically Atmo always lost by miles, but that was mostly because it had a MAF sensor, and with a MAF, Atmo's never going to win. Recirc versus nothing. Recirc won twice by a fraction of a second. No dump valve won twice with a fraction of a second. So in reality, it makes no real difference. If you like chatter, stick with chatter. If you want a dump valve, have a dump valve. If you're scared of breaking your turbo due to compressor surge, run one. If you're like me and think it's mostly bullshit, don't. But for better acceleration, don't waste your fucking time. A very lightly modified Volkswagen Scirocco. And I was thinking, why the fuck do we feature this? And then I realised, as well as why did we feature it, I fucking wrote this. And if you look, that's me driving. Basically, this was when these Siroccos were brand new, and this was like Forge's demo car type thing, showing off the new mods that they've done. I'm still not strictly sure we should have featured stuff like this, but it was a new car at the time, so I suppose it was a big deal. But you see how memorable it was. Well, I didn't even recognise this car, and didn't even realise until I noticed me driving the fucking thing. Feature on sleepers. Good sleepers to buy. Some of these prices have changed. Well, the Aristo especially. Back then you could get them for £2,000 for a twin turbo Aristo. These days, fuck no. Looking to find one at all. Wish you could for £2,000. I would have one. 300 brake Astra Coupe. Is this worth a feature in Redline? I don't think so. Ultimate dubs. So a load of fucking shiny Volkswagens. You know, a feature on two pretty ordinary cars turned into a 2-wheel drive versus 4-wheel drive feature. But it's just like talking about the feature, you know, about the cars. Both basically relatively lightly modified cars. Perfectly, you know, nice enough cars, but big deal. Again, this is one that was bought off Millsy by the looks of it, and wouldn't have been one of my choices. There's a suspension test we did with TT. Me and Rich did this. Basically, we took it to the little sprint track at Haynes Motor Museum and tested it there. We tested it on standard suspension. Well, I'll show you. Standard, and we timed it. And then, or did we time it? I'm not even sure we timed it. Or did we just go by feel? Oh, we did time it. Yeah. Standard, Then we put on some coilovers. Then coilovers and anti-roll bars. Then we took it for alignment because it was all over the place. And just, yeah, we changed the stiffness, we did all sorts. And me and Rich basically kicked shit out of it. And yeah, started at about 37.5 seconds. Took a whole second off just going to coilovers. Took near enough a whole second off again. Go into coilovers, anti-roll bars and decent geometry. About 1.5 seconds with the dampers at the quickest setting. And yeah, decent enough difference on a small little track like that. 400 brake compressor. Sounds a bit boring. Oh, what a surprise, it's a Millsy feature. I mean, you know, a 400 brake compressor is not a bad car, but is it a feature car? To me, that's not interesting. I'd have flicked straight through that. I did just then, I don't even give a shit. Again, a lightly modified ST 330 brake. I reckon this was done for advertising reasons, as in this company advertised, because I don't think we'd have featured this again. Like a lightly modified ST. It's like big fucking deal. I don't know. I was an editor. Another 180 converted Volkswagen with the same wheels as the last one pretty much, and a very lightly modified engine. It's like, okay, why? Just another, feels like a Volkswagen magazine. Not even a very exciting Volkswagen magazine. Oh, a surprise, a Volkswagen show. And near the back, to fill some space, another lightly modified Astra VXR this time. Just feels shit to me. Even looking back now, it's worse than I remember it. This is like a Beat the Lambo feature. So a load of tuned cars versus a stock 493 brake Lambo. An R32 Golf with 460 brake turbo. Yeah, twin turbo Monaro, making over 1,000 brake meant to be. And this badass sleeper Impreza, which I'm a big fan of. What was this making? Nearly 650 brake. Everything beat the Lambo to 0 to 60. Lambo's 4.7, Golf 4.6, Monaro 4.5, GTR 3.5, Subaru 3 dead. 0 to 100, Lambo 9.8, the Golf was slower at 10.7, the Monaro was faster at 8.5, GTR was 7.9, Subaru 6.9, so Subaru's fast as fuck. Quarter of a mile. Lambo's 12,418, Golf 12.8 at 109, so pretty slow. Monaro 12,225, seems remarkably slow for supposedly 1,000 horsepower. GTR 11,815, Subaru Impreza 11,1 at 121. So basically, everyone but the Golf beat it in the quarter. 3/4 of a mile speed, that's quite interesting. 150 for the Lambo, 143 for the Golf, 178 for the Monaro, so add some power. 115 for the GTR, 164 for the Subaru. To be honest, they're all quite slow for 3/4 of a mile. I mean, my fucking Corolla did 150.5 a mile. I'd have thought I'd have got about, I don't know, Do you reckon you get another... I wonder how much more you can pile on in the next quarter of a mile. I would have thought. Don't know. I'm surprised the Monaro only got 178 in that distance, but I don't know. This is another test me and Rich did. We basically took the TT to Landau and tested tyres. We basically tested cheapy 3 brand new sets. Well, actually no, tell a lie, we tested the standard worn out ones as well. So we had some good worn out ones, some brand new cheapies, some brand new like premium brand normal road tyres, and some brand new sort of semi-slicks. So yeah, caned it around Landau to do some testing. And yeah, it was, yeah, what did we test? These worn out things. I can't, Avon ZZ3s. Brand new Kenders. Brand new, just normal Toyota T1Rs. And brand new 888s. Check me out with 3 wheels. I was loving ramping up the curbs. But yeah, one thing I remember about this feature, apart from it being good fun, was the fucking oil temp on the TT was getting up ridiculous, like 150, so we kept having to let it cool down. This was like 5 laps in a row, so you could see, like, you know, if they got worse or better as they got hot. So yeah, the worn out ones started off quite good, but seemed to get worse. The budget ones stayed about as bad as the good ones worn out did at their worst. The T1Rs, which people don't really rate as good tyres, but honestly they're alright. 2 seconds faster than the budgets. And the 888s, unsurprisingly, were a good 2 seconds faster than even the T1Rs. At 50 seconds versus 52. Well, 2.5 seconds in a lot of these cases. So yeah, simple answer, we kind of all know that was the thing. I remember me and Rich both saying, it might even say it in the feature, but going from like these to these, you know, all of these, it just felt like a modified TT. As soon as you stick a set of 888s on it, you almost feel like you're in a fucking time attack car. The difference in speed and performance and cornering from some proper tyres is unreal. But people go and still stick fucking Uniroyal Rain Sports and everything and think it's amazing. Ed TT with, wow, 500 brake, so that's fair enough as a feature car. Not super exciting, but nice enough car. These magazines are very VAG heavy though, aren't they? Pretty crappy looking Impreza, in my opinion. With less than 400 brake. Again, a Millsy feature. Personally, not something I would have featured if it was my choice. And a VXR8, again, one of Millsy's features. It's gone from 425 brake to 495 brake. So, again, is that worthy of a feature? Some minor modifications? In my opinion, no. Yeah, it's basically got an induction kit, an exhaust, and a remap. How's that a feature car? I mean, I know it's a relatively brand new car, but I don't know what in my head Redline should have been and what Redline had become. 2 different things. Another Millsy feature. Yeah, basically a lightly modified E350Z, a lightly modified DC5 Integra, and a lightly modified Evo 7. None of them are worth features on their own, but they turned it into some bullshit imported car feature. I don't know. Not for me. I mean, the cars are nice, but they're not worthy features on their own. Brake test. That's not one me and Rich didn't do this one. Wow, some big understeer. So it's a Mark 1 Focus RS, but with forward drive and a COSI engine. It's quite smart. Quite like that. Different turbo for once as well. Big KKK K27 or something. Different to a typical COSI. Yeah, I like that. I remember doing this one. This is Dragon R34 GTR fronted Nissan Stagea. It also had a full GTR running gear as well. RB26. Yeah, proper. Now this was fucking awesome. It was a Alex Khatib, mate of mine, who owned GT Garage at the time. Now he's in Dubai tuning cars and racing cars, but yeah, he was importing loads of crazy cars and was featuring quite a lot of them. And this one was this 32 GTR that he would basically import them already sort of well tuned and then go to town with them even more. And this is a good example of that. I remember for this pit feature, he picked me up in this car, and you know, he was literally daily in it. So yeah, he picked me up in the centre of Bristol. Got like a 6-speed dog box. Fucking, it was a drag car, so it had HKS drag suspension, which was mega soft. It had no front or rear anti-roll bars, a Pexi VMAX cams, massive T88 turbo. It was literally not what you'd imagine to be a usable road car, but he would drive it on the road. And it was one of the most fun cars I've ever been in because of the ridiculous power delivery. Literally fuck all would happen before about, I don't know, about 7,500 RPM, and then at 7.5 grand all fucking hell would break loose and all four wheels would just spin and it would just, you would go off like a fucking rocket. It was so funny. The car was a fucking beast and revved to like 10 grand plus. But yeah, nothing low down at all. And then fucking hell, it was so much fun. So yeah, one of my favourite cars this. It's funny, in the feature he says it's about 650 brake. No fucking way was it. It was way more than that. It was an absolute weapon. And yeah, it was absolutely awesome. And just, yeah, just a fucking, yeah, monstrous thing. With no low end power, which just made it more funny. And yeah, we drove it right around Bristol in heavy traffic. And anytime we could open it up, shit the bed. It was badass. This is the issue where we gave away a free lap of the Nürburgring with every issue, which a lot of people really made the most of. But yeah, genuinely a free lap of the ring. That was your voucher. Turns out I wrote this feature, but I don't remember it. I remember going to the Nürburgring and doing this feature, and you know, it's quite cool being able to. We had the track to ourselves at points, so we was able to walk around on the track and do all sorts on the track and stop, and yeah. But yeah, 8:30 for the one we did, 8:51 for the standard one. So actually that's not that much faster. Over 20 seconds, but yeah, this one had heavy ass Lambo doors, a boot full of fucking stereo stuff, all sorts. But yeah, good tyres and stuff did help. There's me driving it, bollocks it. Stav was blown away. No, it fucking wasn't. But it was alright. But yeah, what we did was brakes, induction kit, coilovers, exhaust, remap, triple eights, and some decent wheels to go with it. The most impressive thing for me was the tyres. Even in the wet, they were wildly better than the you know, the normal road tyres that were on it. Standing water, they were a bit shit, but you know, normal wet weather, 100 times better. Right, this is a slightly bullshit. Dale Lomas, who's like a Nürburgring expert driver, got 8 minutes 30 with our tuned one. Mick, who's just a normal bloke that owned that standard ST, got 10 minutes 17 in his one. And then Mick, jumping in our one afterwards, got like 9 minutes 51, so nearly 30 seconds faster. And then Mick, driving our one with Dale, telling him what to do, took another like nearly 30 seconds off it. So this 56 seconds faster thing's slightly bullshit, because a lot of that's from driver training. So it does say there, but it's not just from tuning. And yeah, we stayed in some fancy fucking house. And so some behind the scenes pictures from the trip. Some of it was good, and some of it was shit. All I remember about that house was it was really nice, but the place was fucking infested with flies, and every night you just get woke up constantly by flies landing on you. Fucking German fly bastards. That's a fucking surprise. A lightly modified Golf. Less than 50 brake, more than standard, and it gets a feature because it won a lot of trophies at Volkswagen shows. Does fuck all for me. That's not Redline for me, but whatever. 700 brake supercharged M3 is quite cool. Australian car. Couple of 500 brake and practice P1s. It's quite good, I suppose. Again, nothing that you're going to be all that excited about looking at this. 400 brake TT. Again, it's like a good car, but unlike old Redline, it don't stand the test of time of you know, being interesting now. A Volkswagen show, what a fucking surprise. Testing a load of cars at Santa Pod. I didn't do this one, I don't think. I don't remember anyway. So what is it then? Do they time these cars or what? Oh yeah, they did time them by the looks of it. But no action pictures at all. Yeah, timed them. But literally no action. What a crap feature. It's like old versus new, but no action pictures. Weird. Oh, I just realised it says here they only had time for each car to have one run each, so the figures are a rough guide. What a load of bollocks. Complete disaster. I'm glad I weren't part of it. Well, I wouldn't have. I don't know how it got fucked up like that, but I didn't do it. People with not enough experience of organising thrashes, maybe, I don't know. I did quite a few and I never allowed it to get fucked up like that, but that's bad in my opinion. Me sideways in the Twingo. This is a tyre pressure test. I basically adjusted the front and rear tyre pressures and then took it for laps and see what I could do. And it was doing big skids in it. Yeah, it was good this. I mean, you know, interesting test, fun, oversteering. Another decent feature, 2 big power FDs from Australia. I wrote this one, don't remember much about it, but actually cars that were featuring for once. Well, are you surprised again? A Millsy feature featuring a lightly modified, not very powerful 210 brake, in fact, so very almost standard. VAG car. What a load of VAG. Oh, and another VAG car by Millsy. This one's got less than 100 brake more than standard, and it's already an RS4, so it's not exactly slow. Just, yeah. They called this OEM Plus, I think. In my opinion, it's called fucking boring. Chrome R35, that looks like shit. This is what these lightly tuned sort of demo cars should be done in. A feature, like a mini feature on the tuning thing, not a whole separate feature. This is what was done here. This was awesome GTI's Mark 6 Golf. It was like 375 brake, stage 3 tune type thing. It was a really good car. But this isn't a full feature like in them earlier mags. So this is right. This is me and Rich testing lightweight wheels. So we use the same tyres, exactly the same tyres, same wheel size, same wheel offset. Just went from the standard heavy wheels, which are 13.2 kilos each, to these Pro Lights, which are 8.39 kilos each. And yeah, acceleration was faster, unsurprisingly. In-gear acceleration was slightly faster, well, quite noticeably faster for in high gear. Braking was a bit faster. Everything was faster. Basically, it made the car feel different too. You really could tell. So yeah, lightweight wheels make a way bigger difference than people think. Features like this is what made later Redline good, but so much other stuff in there is really forgettable in my opinion. A Chrome GTR. Seems weird going from all this like OEM plus standard looking shit to a car that's fucking chrome, but I don't know. I don't know if Redline knew where it was at this point. Tokyo Auto Salon, but by then we weren't no longer going to fun places, so this wasn't done by any of us. Carbon body Impreza. Unfortunately, it was only 250 brake. I wonder how light it really was and how much of this carbon was massively backed in heavy fiberglass. Doesn't say a weight, but yeah, only pretty much a standard engine, just all carbon body. A lightly modified Evo, and I'm surprised there's another Millsy feature. Why would we feature this? It's a nice car, but how's this a feature car? A sub 400 brake Focus RS, so relatively lightly tuned. Again, this should be a tuner car test, not a feature car in my opinion. This is what late Redline did best. Me and Rich testing stuff. We basically fitted this Clio we had. We basically took out the standard seats, which were heavy as fuck, and put in some lighter seats, which were lighter, but more to the point, way more supportive. So we tested lap times, and unsurprisingly, they were way better. Average lap time 2 minutes 2 seconds with standard seats. Average lap time with decent seats 2 seconds faster. Simple. This was a great car. This is TTS Performance's Supercharged S2000. So stock internals, Honda ECU, supercharger, 465 brakes, so sort of double standard power, revving to like 9 grand, and it was fucking brilliant because I've owned an S2000 and I've probably driven probably best part of 100 odd of them. I used to work for Honda, and yeah, they were alright, but they got fuck all low down. Like really nothing goes anywhere below 6.5 grand. You know, might as well be walking, and you're only really fast above 7,500. This thing, not only having, you know, 465 brake, it had decent low down power, so it made it a much better car, and it was fucking brilliant. It really was a transformed car, and it had great grip because of the centrifugal supercharger. Means the power delivery was still really linear. It didn't just suddenly have a big hit of torque and spin the wheels, but it had good low down grunt all the way through to fucking 9 grand of craziness. So yeah, real fucking really like this car, and I'm, you know, and that's from somebody who's driven countless S2000s, but this was a transformation with no downsides, none at all. Oh, what a surprise! Another Millsy feature, a lightly modified Astra Coupe that has no reason to be in Redline in my opinion, and to me don't look any different to that earlier one. I can't even remember what the difference is already. That's how forgettable it is. Yet another Nürburgring special feature, using 2 focuses again. I'm not saying like that's a bit played out, but why the fuck did we do it again with 2 more really similar cars? I don't even remember this. Even all this additional features to go along with this Nürburgring thing's the fucking same as last time. The road trip again, the map again. Fucking hell. This is all the same. The corner guide. Lightly modified Astra, which they're blagging like it's a track car, despite it like not being a track car at all. Just some girl who's been on track a few times in it. Standard leather interior and all that. There's a race driver for you. 180 engine Mini. That's quite cool, I suppose. Different. See, that's worthy of a feature. But so much of this other stuff wasn't. It's just boring and not memorable. Speaking of boring and not memorable, here's another Millsy feature. A 300 brake, standard looking Megane. Wow, interesting. Jamie P's Supra, fucking mental car. Literally 1200 and something brake it made, and more to the point, he used to prove it. He drove this thing hard, and it was timed a lot. 0 to 200 miles an hour in 17.5 seconds. I think a Veyron does 0 to 200 in mid-20s, I think. But yeah, 17.5 seconds for this thing. Weapon. Now James, since this, he built a mega Nissan GTR, and he's now got an awesome 3-door Cosy as well, all in black. He likes his black cars, but he does build some awesome, serious cars. Not many people build cars that I totally agree with how they look and how they're sort of spec'd, but he builds cars to my taste. Just wish I had the kind of money to build them like this. And yeah, he uses everything hard. He doesn't give a fuck. Gate bill. I did the words for this, but I didn't go. This is purely, I did the words from the pictures, really, unfortunately. Much as I'd have loved to have gone, for reasons like that especially. But no. Those days were numbered. Well, those days are long gone. The cars were still awesome, gate bill was still awesome, but we weren't going no more. Another Impreza. I think we overdosed on 500 brake Imprezas, you know. A lightly modified GTR just to suck up to KW. Now this is cool. A rotary engined A86. Darren McNamara, who's a bit of a drift legend from Ireland, and this is a car he built. And yeah, this thing's fucking awesome. Bridge ported 13B, turbo sitting in front of it. Fairly small turbo, but you know, response in it. But yeah, fucking proper car. Head-up display test. It's a bit wank. Seems more like an advert to me. Oh, fuck's sake, another 400 brake TT. How many more do we fucking need? You can't tell the man in charge and his mate and designer was both really into their ideas, can you? Fucking hell. Now this is fucking cool. Very cool. Johnny Milner's 850 brake twin charged Celica GT4. Absolute weapon. You'll see this if you look at old Goodwood videos. He competed in Goodwood Festival speeding this, destroying nearly everything. And yeah, it's a mega car. Got, for a twin charge car, it's quite unusual. It's got a Rotrex supercharger with a electronic clutch and a turbo. And the supercharger gives it like 30 psi boost by less than £4,000, and then disconnects, and then the turbo takes over. So it's not your typical twin charge setup, but it fucking works. Two very lightly modified Evo wagons. Evo wagons are cool, but these are like almost standard. So I'm not sure why we feature these again, but whatever. Just because they're Evo wagons, I suppose, but so what? We don't do standard cars. Again, I did this feature, but I didn't, I wasn't there. I just captioned everything up and did the words and chose the pictures, and it's fucking awesome. I just wish I was there. Awesome Fest, the show that was probably one of the most fun UK shows there's been. Nothing compared to Gate Bill, but still fun. It was like mostly drifting and motocross and just general fucking about. Only happened once though, unfortunately. Test on Uprated bulbs for your car. Wow. Some big techie turbo thing that I did. Quite dark. Fucking hell. Another tuned TT. Getting a bit bored of these now, you know. 550 brake, so it's a fucking weapon, but when you've seen one, you've seen them all, haven't you? This thing is awesome. Dragon RX-7. That, it wasn't crazy on the engine spec, but the bodywork, proper fucking Batmobile. Look at it. A Millsy feature on two BBR Turbo MX-5s. Feels more like something that they would have in auto car to me, but whatever. This thing's mental. A fucking Mitsubishi Colt with 728 brake and an Evo front end. Don't remember this car at all, or this feature, but that's pretty nuts. It looks a bit shit, to be fair, but fuck me, that's fast. Looks rubbish, but fucking hell. And that is proper Evo 4-wheel drive as well. A lightly modified Mini Cooper S. Could you ever guess that's a Millsy feature? Yet another fucking TT. This one with 350 brake. Wow. Look, my first Merc. Has a wicked car, that was. I've had loads of CT30 compressors, as you would have seen from my previous videos on YouTube, but this was my first one. Badass car, that was. Yet another of these head-to-head. Two cars that aren't worth a feature on their own and kind of turning it into a versus feature, and it doesn't work for me. It's just a bit nothing. Two lightly modified cars in one feature, big deal. Now this thing was fucking awesome. One of my favourite cars we've ever featured. American job, 810 brake EG Civic. And it's fucking awesome. Ran 9s at over 150 mile an hour. And it's just still one of my favourite cars. It just looks amazing. Stunning engine. This was like, I mean, these days everyone's used to you know, boosted boys style Civics, but this was nearly a decade ago, and this was pretty new then for the UK, maybe not America, but the UK. And this was like, fucking hell, this is amazing. This is what front wheel drive should be. One of my favourite cars we featured in the last few years of Redline, in my opinion. One of the best cars, and certainly one of my favourites. A relatively standard Mini Cooper S again. That looks exactly the same as the last one to me. Honestly, I can't tell the difference, can't remember the difference. And lo and behold, it's another Millsy feature. Fucking hell. This is back when I didn't take much notice of what was going in the mag. I just did my job. But this is fucking bullshit. Me drifting in my red CT30 compressor. See, I got videos of the black one, everyone's seen that, but no one's ever seen this videos of this. I don't think they exist. But this skidded real good. Driftworks V10 M3, which you'd have seen on the more recent Driftworks videos since they bought it back and refurbishing it back to better than ever. This was when it was just finished, and we took it to Millbrook Proving Ground to test it, And although you might not have really seen it drifted on the Driftworks videos, this day I saw it drifted a lot, and it was awesome. I mean, literally running the wall and everything. It was amazing to watch. Phil can drive, fair play. Yeah, he did lots of skids in it. You can see, obviously, this car on the Driftworks YouTube channel, but this was when it was just finished. And yeah, in the last few years of the magazine, this is one of the few memorable fucking cars, in my opinion. But yeah, watching him drift that entire thing real close to the Armco and everything, when it was a brand new car I'd only just finished, was pretty amazing, to be fair. Oh, for fuck's sake, yet another Mini on those almost same wheels, yet another Mini with about 240 brake. Every single fucking issue. 350 brake, 180 powered VAG car again. It's not like you see that every bloody issue as well. More skids in my Merc. I think this is when I was selling it. Shouldn't have sold it really. Awesome car. Yet another 500 odd brake Evo. It's a good car, but fucking most of the cars in this mag aren't TTs or Evos, it seems. There's like an Evo every issue. It's like, it's not interesting. There we are, the very last issue ever of Redline. By this time, the staff is 3 of us. If you remember at the beginning, there was 11, I think. Then just us 3. Here we are, with the old Redline Supra, which Toyota kindly lent us back, and I did a burnout in. MR2 Turbo, one of the nicest looking ones in the UK, like even now probably, but certainly was then. 600 brake, 550 pound-foot of torque, badass looking, proper engine, like real nice looking car. This is Gav, who I still know now, and I'll tell you something about this car. Not that long after the feature was done, he had a bad accident in it and wrote it off. And you know where that engine is now? I own it. It's the engine that's probably going to go in my Corolla. It's actually out of this car. So yeah, my sleeper Corolla is going to have this, but with a much bigger turbo. So while this was like 600 brake on a GT35, I'm hoping for, well, maybe start with a 7, but it's fully forged, cams, you know, proper engine. And yeah, I own it now. I bought it many years after this, but he kept it to use it on something else and said to me one day, you know, do you want it? And I travelled all the way down to see him in Kent and bought it off him. Another Supra. Another one with nearly 1200 brake as well. Fucking good car, that. Bullseye Power S383 Turbo. Fucking hell. Yeah, I ain't shy. And that's it. That was the end of Redline, and we all went our separate ways. Made quite a lot of money, redundancy money, and even more money selling loads of shit we had. And yeah, that was the end of it. At the time it seemed a bit unfair, because it was like, it's a fucking good mag. But now reading through this again, I don't think it was as good as we thought it was. I think it's a bit fucking, the last couple of years was a bit shit. so many of the cars are really the fucking same, and it was just a bit fucking dull. I mean, all the earlier ones was really memorable. Hardly any of that was memorable. And I'm amazed how similar so much of it was. So yeah, while we was trying to be more grown up and not like chavvy modified cars, it kind of went beyond that and was a bit fucking boring. Things have got to stick in your head to be, you know, be exciting, and that just wasn't exciting. And yeah, honestly at the time I felt we was really hard done by, but now I look at this, I can understand why it died, which is a shame, because it's fucking had the potential to be really fucking good, but it had some great tests and stuff in that, and it had some great cars, but a lot of that was boring. So there you go. And now fast forward 10 years and you're watching me do shit like this on YouTube instead. You know, there's a StavTech website, there's StavTech on Facebook, and there's StavTech on Instagram, and there's StavTech on YouTube. I wouldn't say it's making me a whole lot of money, although I'd like it to. But one day,